Good morning, Cochise County, and welcome to the Michael Zehr Show. Today is February 18th, and I'm coming to you live from the Rising Eagle Studios here at Warrior Healing Center. Today we're doing things a little different. My guest that I have sitting to my left here is an active duty soldier, and she couldn't come in at 9, so we made a special arrangement just for you for 10 o'clock this morning.
Thank
So.
you.
And I'm really excited about this because you are the first active duty soldier that I've had the pleasure of interviewing on the live stream here. I did get to interview one other gentleman that was active duty but retiring. So this is it's going to be interesting. I get to learn a lot about. So today our guest is Anna Eichenbrock. I didn't butcher that, right?
No, you did great.
Good,
Absolutely.
good.
Thank you.
So what's really exciting today, like I said, she's an active duty soldier, and the if you have, I forget this part, so I got to do. If you do have any questions for Anna or myself that you'd like to know while we're doing this interview, please post them down in the comment section, and we'll be happy to answer those questions for you. So. Okay, let's get the ball rolling. I'm excited.
Okay. All right.
All right, Anna, first question I have to ask is what inspired you to join the military?
Oh, goodness. Let's see. I absolutely love being an American. And I have to say, I'm thankful for all of my freedoms. I make a little joke, hopefully, no offense to anyone, but thanks, guys. I don't have to wear a burqa. I've just always been very blessed to be aware of the freedoms and those that have sacrificed so that I may have them. Um, I tried several times throughout my life to join the military, little obstacles here and there.
Right.
And I actually have a nonprofit that helps homeless veterans. And then I was attending school at Liberty University, and I woke up one morning and God said, Anna, you're going to be a chaplain in the Army. And I said, yes, sir. So that is where the short and sweet of that part.
A chaplain.
I am a chaplain chaplain candidate right now.
I did not know this. See, I'm learning too. This is going to be really exciting. How cool.
Yes.
So where did you go for basic training?
Actually, because I'm a chaplain candidate right now, I have to wait to go to the people for officers. It's BOLIC. For us, it's CHBOLIC. And so it's our chaplain basic officer leadership training, and that is in Fort Jackson, South Carolina, and I am set up to go at the beginning of next year because as a candidate I still have 2 semesters left of school. So they're affording me the opportunity to finish school but still serve in the Army as a second lieutenant chaplain candidate until I finish that. So
do you have any duties right now that you perform that's on an active duty type?
Oh, yes.
Do you? Okay.
With the reserve status, of course, the 1 week a month, 2 weeks a year, but as a chaplain, my expectations in the military are a little bit greater than just that 2 weeks out of the year and that 1 weekend a month. So as soon as the things, I'm very fresh. I'm very new. I just swore in on January 16th, 2 days after my 41st birthday. I love that. Yes, that's great. So things are still quite fresh, but I have already been able to. I performed one wedding so far, and then counseling.
Wow, how exciting!
It is. It's exciting and a blessing and an honor, actually. So I always say for God and country, and that is my life. So.
Well, I'm a Christian and I'm a Catholic, and I could sit here and talk to you about God all day.
Okay.
Veterans that come in to the Warrior Healing Center in the lobby, when they're waiting or they come in just to say hi or something like that, we'll get into discussions about God, and it's such a great discussion because there's just, the Holy Spirit's there, and you can just feel it. And so now knowing that you're a chaplain, I can kind of open up to you and know that you're receptive to that. So that's
I am.
Even more exciting.
And even if you weren't, I would still be open to anything because as we know in the military, it's a pluralistic environment.
Yes.
So it is my job as one of God's soldiers and as one of America's soldiers is to be there for any and everybody that needs me.
So I love the show MASH. And they had a chaplain in there, but he was a Catholic priest, Father Mulcahy.
He was.
Do the chaplains that are in the military now, do they, when they're ordained or when they become ministers, do they too become a certain faith, or is it just a Protestant, or how does that work?
So, of course, it depends on which faith journey that you're on. So,
Okay.
we have Muslim chaplains, Christian, Catholic. So it all varies. I am non-denomination.
Okay.
But I'm Christian.
Right.
So of course, as we know, Catholics, you can't practice as a priest unless you're a male. So
Oh, that's
I
right.
was raised as a Catholic.
Duh.
So
Okay.
right. So I'm unable to do that part, but that's okay. And then just because that's where my heart and my spirit led me was, Christian. So non-denominational though, which I find to be very fitting for who I am, because I'm very open to accepting just
Right.
all shapes and sizes. I'm good. And I want to be able to be there for people and them not think they can't come to me because of a certain, denomination. So I found that to be it's a little bit more welcoming for the people in which I engage with. So
Well, because I think if you have the belief in God,
uh-huh.
number one,
Uh-huh.
and I never did understand all the different bickering with all the different religions, because they all believe in the Bible. They're all the
Exactly.
same thing. So I
Yeah.
agree with what you're saying.
Yeah.
And I was not raised Catholic.
Okay.
My wife was, and when I married her, I converted.
Nice.
But I too had experienced a lot of these different religions when I was a kid, because my parents, you know, encouraged me to do that.
Oh, that's great.
So I think that I'm hoping that it gives me a better spiritual understanding. I keep asking God, you know.
No, it's
So,
great. And then we always know, New Testament, Jesus just says love everybody.
yes,
So there wasn't a strict definition of what that love meant. Of course,
right.
with love comes kindness and caring, and not don't hurt anybody, because hurt people out of love. So if it's kind of that simple, then it shouldn't be so complicated. Like us splitting it up and everything. It's just. So I always say I'm a Christian American. That's it. Like there's,
Well,
and that doesn't put me in such a strict category to where I can't be fluid in the people that I interact with and my purpose.
and then reading the Bible, and the way I understand it too is when um, God had his chosen people, the Jewish religion, and then they kind of, I wouldn't say turned their back on him, but they weren't really obedient. And so then God said, well, I'm going to love the Gentiles too, which, so by doing that, that encompasses everybody.
Everybody.
So,
That's right. That's right. Well, as we know, though, a lot of our apostles, they preached to everybody. They wanted
yes.
to reach out to everybody, because that's just what it's about. Is just to be there, just in general as humans, to be there and love each other and to care for each other and not have such a strict, just putting us in strict categories just kind of doesn't enable us to
Hmm.
be there for everybody like we should be. So,
And another thing that I love talking about religion with people is when you have two or more people talking, then the Holy Spirit is there with you, you know?
yes. Oh,
And
yes.
when I'm talking, like I'm talking to you now and looking in your eyes, or looking at other people that I'm talking, and I try to connect with their eyes, you could just see them filled with the Holy Spirit.
Oh,
And I just get
yes.
like the shivers and everything. It's
It is
just,
so true.
yeah,
You can feel the spirit
yeah.
in the room. That is definitely a thing. I do agree with you.
So, what's the roadmap kind of like for you? So we know that you're going into basic training, and then after basic training, then do you go to like an officer candidate
Well, no,
school?
that is my officer.
That
So
is it.
the
Okay.
Chibolic is actually our chaplain officer
Okay.
training school. So when you go there, 12 weeks, rigorous, expectations.
Right.
And then after that, I have a year in the reserve still, so that I may practice as a chaplain still in the reserves, uh, just to get your feet wet even more. So,
Right.
because it is such a interesting and valuable position. Not that every position in the military is valuable.
Amen to that.
Yes,
Yes.
so
Yes.
true. Um, our expectation as counselor, uh, uh, to marry people, to perform funerals, those they have a intimate expectation.
Hmm.
So we have to make sure that we know what we're doing in that intimate fashion. So another year after that, and then I have the option to go regular Army out of the reserves,
Do you
which
think
is
you're
my
going to
plan.
do that?
Oh, I know I'm
Yeah.
going to do that. Yes, as long as my handsome husband's on board, because he's my biggest teammate, team player, and I don't know what I would do without him. So as long as he's still on board, because he's 20 years my senior, and he retired from the Army, and he retired as a casualty and mortuary officer after 11. So he retired from the Army and did casualty and mortuary for 11 years as his government civilian job
Oh
up
my
on Fort Huachuca.
gosh.
So if he's tired, then I'll kick back and still do my part, but not have him, running around the world with me. So
So when you married him, was he already retired
he
then, or
was, yes,
okay?
yes, yes, yes.
So do you have any plans, or do they ask you like where you want your duty assignment to be? Do you get to pick them as a chaplain, or does the Army say this is where you're going to go?
I have not crossed that, been met with that question yet, so to cross
Okay.
that bridge. As of right now, I was very much so blessed with my unit being here on Fort Huachuca, so
Okay.
that was wonderful. Otherwise, I would have had to travel to either Tucson or Phoenix. So as of right now, I have just been afforded blessing on top of blessing with that, and I get to stay here for
Oh,
now.
good.
Yes. So as of right now, this is the what I know and where I'm at, and I don't want to have speculate too much.
Right.
Once you start doing that, they go, ha ha ha. Guess what? No.
So on Fort Huachuca, do you minister at the main post chapel?
No. So I am under the supervision of a superior, or not superior, I was told senior chaplain. I have to get the lingo right.
Right.
Still fresh at all that. Senior chaplain. So I do not have that there yet. So civilian life, yes, I'm able to do what I want. I don't have a church that I go to yet.
Right.
So it's basically just that practical application of ministry, evangelism throughout the community, which is when I met people, the grocery store. So that is where we're at right now with that. And so, yes, my senior chaplain is the one that performs everything. And I'm basically just umbrellaing under his amazing experience and dedication. So
Who is that?
he is
Let's give him a shout out.
Chaplain Major Ingertston, and he is also a Border Patrol, I believe.
Wow.
And he's a rock star. He's amazing. I've only been able to engage with him face to face one time, but in that one time, the experience that we had was just very real, and he inspired me immediately.
Yeah.
So, obviously, he knows what he's doing, and I was placed in the right spot. But the unit that I was placed in so far, I have just been just in awe.
Mhm.
Everybody just they're Americans. They love their job. They love being a soldier, and I can tell that. And it's great. Everybody's so very helpful. It's almost as if they trip over themselves to be considerate of each other. So I don't know if that sounds like typical, but I sure am thankful and blessed for that. So
Are the chaplains that are up on Fort Huachuca that are performing the services up there, are they all then active duty, or are some of those reserves, or how does that work?
reserves and regular Army.
Both?
Yes, both. Absolutely.
Oh.
Yep.
Do you go up there and assist with any of the services? Are you allowed to do that, or?
I am able to do so.
Uh-huh.
It just has not happened yet. That's
Oh,
all.
okay.
Just not happened yet. So a lot of paperwork when you first join the military.
Right.
Yes, my goodness. I'll tell you what, if you could ever get a cramp, and I've been to law school, and oh my goodness, this paperwork is something else. So yes, and everybody that's been part of my journey has been amazing. There are only 5 recruiting stations for chaplains in the entire U.S.
Wow.
Yes. So I never met my recruiter face to face. My
Okay.
recruiter is outside of California, and amazing.
How does that go? How do you go about getting a recruiter that you're not even doing face to face? How does that even work? Is it online?
It's
or?
all emails and phone calls.
Really?
And yes, and I had the
Wow.
blessing of going to our station here and having some amazing teamwork from the Sierra Vista Army Recruiter's Office for tape, because I had to do tape in order to make it,
Right.
and fingerprints and everything. So all that was done there. And then all my other paperwork, basically, so for veterinarians, doctors, lawyers, and chaplains, we have to have a higher degree. We have to have,
Okay.
usually you have to, not usually, you have to have a bachelor's degree to be an officer. But for
Right.
us, that group of people, we have to have a higher education. So masters, JDs, and then your MDs. So
What did you get? Have you completed your master's
not this one in divinity, that's why I'm a candidate, but I do have a
Okay.
master's in law.
in law degree?
I do.
So,
I went to the James E. Rogers College of Law at University of Arizona.
U
Yay.
of A,
Shout out
go
there. That's right.
Wildcats.
Wildcats all day.
Number
Um,
3, I think, in the polls right now, if I'm not
they
mistaken.
I had such a wonderful I received my bachelor's degree there in administration of justice, and then my master's of legal studies at the James E. Rogers College of Law there in family juvenile law, and then I received a graduate certification in military families there.
So if there's a requirement for you to have a master's degree and then a doctorate, did I understand that correctly?
Not for the chaplaincy.
No? Okay.
No. So, but you have to have more than just a bachelor's degree.
Okay.
Yes. So for a chaplain, master's degree, veterinarian, and doctor, physician, MD, and then for the for law lawyers, the JD. So.
And not to get hung up on this master's degree and stuff, I'm just really fascinated by that. So as a chaplain, do I understand that the master's degree that you have in law kind of covers that?
No,
or
the master I'm doing now is master's in theology
in
chaplaincy. That's my degree plan. I'm graduating a year early from that.
Good job.
Well, I got my master's in law in a year.
Hard work.
I'm a little bit of a school junkie. That's my addiction. That's what my sister tells my son. You know how some people like to mountain climb or sail? Your mother likes to go to school. So that's my hobby, is what I'm told. But I do love a great education. I find it fulfilling learning something new. So I was a CNA and EMT.
Wow.
I have done Cochise College afforded me those 2 certificates and then my associates. So I do love to learn new things. I feel like a little more effective within the community, having a little bit of something here. Was it Jack of all trades, master of none?
Yeah.
Yes. So my master's of divinity will be completed in December, and then I'll have that master's degree. So
that's outstanding. I got to share. I'm 64, and I'm still learning new things today, and I think it's exciting because I think it keeps your brain active.
Yes.
And it keeps you going. And when this pandemic hit, spiritually, it was a nightmare because all the churches shut down, and then for being Catholic to get communion was you couldn't do it. And then I just love how we as human beings have come up with all these innovative ways to get the word out. And then like for the Catholic Church, they started doing drive-through communion.
Yes.
And you could stream the masses. And I'm sure other religions did that same thing. And I was told that even at Our Lady of the Mountain that they even had a thing set up where they did like a drive-in theater where you would drive in and the minister would be up there.
I love that. I did not know that.
Yeah.
A lot of businesses actually found new ways to make sure that they were sustained and that reached their demographic. And then some. So I work for a nonprofit as my civilian job, National Alliance for Mental Illness and Health, NAMI, and here in Southeastern Arizona. And I'll tell you, we have Zoom afforded us a great opportunity for those that we have people in our communities that have agoraphobia, physical conditions, transportation concerns, and they couldn't necessarily go to group meetings face to face. So Zoom afforded them the opportunity, and some, I always get this word wrong, anonymity. I think that's how I think I'm saying it right. And so that is another thing that Zoom afford people, because some people become anxious when they have to reveal their name or their identity in any way. So I always say you can get on there, put on a happy face as your screen, and then put Baby Yoda if you want to for your name. And it actually gave us the opportunity to get more people to engage, which is quite wonderful. So with the downside, there was a silver lining. So and then the fact that people became creative, because we will not be held down. We will rise above whatever obstacles come our way, and that was definitely proven during COVID.
Did you see that video? And I just loved it. It was so cute. It had something to do with this gentleman, probably about my age. I forget if he was a lawyer or whatever, but he sat down to do like a Zoom thing, and somehow he accidentally popped up like a puppy or a cat face or something. So instead of, did you ever see that video?
No, I didn't.
Yeah, you got to Google that. It's so funny because it's just. Oh my gosh, it was hilarious.
Oh boy, the stories from Zoom and different types of virtual interaction with people. There's some pretty funny stories, and then some what? So
Well, and he couldn't figure out how to turn it off, right? He didn't even know how he activated
how we
it.
activated
So
it.
now he had to try and figure out how to take it off. And the whole time he's talking in the meeting, it's got this, I don't remember if it was like a dog face or a
That is
cat face or something. It was
fantastic.
just so funny. But
I love that. That's great.
and
That's great.
I'm so glad that you brought up NAMI and
Yes.
mental illness, I
Mental,
believe, and because these are things that with the pandemic have just really
been
exploded.
amplified. Yes, you are not wrong.
And
Yes.
share
So
us a little bit about what NAMI
oh,
is and a little bit about what you do with your job, please.
okay, I'm the executive director for NAMI Southeastern Arizona, and I work with an amazing board. Actually, president of our board, Kara Welsh, is the a member of Coaching Serving Veterans.
Yeah,
So she's a rock star, and
yeah.
I don't know what I'd do without any of them. They're very amazing.
They get some applause too.
Yes, they do. I concur. They are wonderful. Um, we tend to community members. Now I'm in charge of the four counties in southeastern Arizona. So Santa Cruz, Graham, Greenlee, and Cochise.
Oh wow, that's a big
It
area.
is a big area, and you know that a lot of it is rural, so it's very
Yeah.
sparse. And yes, we'll just say they pay me for mileage. No, but it's wonderful the things that we've had going on. We tend to people with mental health concerns and considerations, and to those individuals that live with or tend to those with mental health concerns and considerations. So, all of our services are free. Yay, best four-letter word out there.
Yeah.
And so we like to make sure that all of our services are free, because that's just another added stressor, which leads to other different things, for people that are seeking assistance and
Right.
guidance in mental health. So we are diligent about applying for grants. We have a big fundraiser every year, the Sky Island Tour, which is a cycling event. Last year we had 300, and I believe it was 52 or 49. I know that I was recently corrected on that. Cyclists come from all over.
Wow.
Yes, 40% of our participants were not even from
From the area.
from even Arizona, I think.
Really?
Yes,
Wow.
we had a whole team from Phoenix come down, though. That is Arizona, of course. So,
Right,
yes, it
but
was quite wonderful. We were very surprised, but it was a blessing, and it did afford us the ability, for sustainability for at least another year. So, with that, we offer our core programs, which one of them is Homefront, and that is veteran focused.
okay.
So
What is that?
not veteran, military focused. So it's one of our things is 6 weeks long. You attend once a week, and it's basically just a group, a support group where you can now it's structured. For those that live with people or tend to people that were former or current service members. So,
Okay.
because we do know that some of the mental health concerns and even the physical concerns, which can lead to mental health, that are sustained in the military environment, are sensitive. They're case sensitive, as in how you sustained them is not the same as how a civilian did. So
Right.
we have to take consideration of the language, how we approach, and also the response to those service members, past and present. So Homefront, amazingly structured. I could not believe how great it was. I like to learn new things, and I took a military families thing and designed my own program for caregivers for service members, and I learned so much more in Homefront. So that is a program that NAMI is offering. And then we have like family to family, basics, in your own voice, connections. So all of these different programs, they're so many weeks long and they're structured,
Oh,
but
wow.
the research that went into structuring, into designing these different programs was amazing. I'm talking
Wow.
brilliant minds, and the focus groups, they had to just been some of the best out there, because they're extremely effective. There's a takeaway almost every 10 minutes. Oh, the light bulb's incredible, could light up a city, from all the participants going so it's very wonderful. And then NAMI we just started a NAMI on campus at Cochise College.
Wow.
So that's
great.
the newest club there, and it's only the 22nd in the entire United States. Only 22 NAMI on campuses in the entire
Wow.
U.S., and we have one right here at Cochise College Service. Douglas campus is making moves to get one there, and then also we're working to get one done in Graham. So in Graham County. So this is actually great, huge, because people are realizing, though it should have been at the forefront, and there's been such a stigma for mental health, even in the military.
Yes.
We know that. If you at some point in time, and maybe even now residual, if there was a mental health concern, you got a profile and you risked your career. But the things that military, especially our infantry, went through, somebody's not going to come back out with something,
Yeah.
and the fact that it was almost dismissed, or just overshadowed by the stigma of mental health, it really did. There was a huge gap in consideration, and not just for the service member, but for the families that these new people went home to, because you're a different person coming back from deployment. And
Yes.
so there was no consideration for the wives, the parents, the children, siblings even, for how to engage with this new family member, because they came back as a new person.
And I'm glad that you brought this up
Mhm.
because first off, I just want to ask real quick:
Sure.
does NAMI run out of the Warrior Healing Center, or do we know how to get a hold of the NAMI
Yes,
organization?
so we do
So,
have an office here, and I do have one at
okay,
CBIS. I really do not. I am all over the place. I always
yes,
say I'm stretched thin. I wish there was a physical, representation of that. No, but so I don't really spend too much time in my offices. But namics.org, and then you
okay,
can get all of our information on there. We have an amazing website, a newsletter. So if you ever want to email me and give me, let me put you on the newsletter distribution. Diana, one of our board members, does an amazing job with our newsletter.
okay.
So yeah, so we are. If I don't answer right away, it's not because I don't want to. It just I
You're
have to.
swamped.
I'm swamped.
Yeah.
Yes. So, but my heart is in it. I promise.
So getting back to what we were
Yes.
talking about with the family members and stuff, and this is something that I asked Kathy when had sat down and had an interview with her a couple weeks ago, and I didn't want to catch her off guard, so I kind of asked her off camera first off, not to make her feel uncomfortable, and I wish I'd have given you that same courtesy, so I'm sorry about
No,
that.
you're fine.
But the the problem I'm wondering about is who supports the dependents when a service member comes back and has PTSD. Is there anything that can help them because they're dealing with, like you said, somebody that has come back from deployment and is not the same person as who they left, and then
That's
they
right.
have to. Could you? Is there any services out there
Well,
for?
the home front from NAMI does definitely afford that.
Okay,
Family members definitely
for
can get on that.
spouses, right? Is what
Spouses, parents, because
children too?
sometimes, well, no, because of the age
Ages?
sensitivity, yes.
Okay.
So, at a certain age, then yes, because we have to think too. Some of our younger soldiers come back. They don't have a spouse, so they're going
Yeah.
back to mom and dad
Yeah,
possibly. So,
I got you.
right.
Okay.
So yeah, so Homefront does afford that. Now we created an entire caregiving for caregivers of service members at the University of Arizona South Campus. So we
Okay.
took that into consideration immediately in our the graduate certificate program. Dr. Sheena Brown, she was in charge of that military families program at U of A. And because we thought about that, we thought, oh my, I myself married a man who has PTSD
Correct.
and
Right.
stress anxiety. And so I had to learn how to be his wife,
And
how
be
to be his
supportive.
girlfriend and be his wife. Exactly. I had to learn the language, what could potentially be triggers, and then grounding
Right.
techniques. So we hug it out at my house, and I'll hug you in the parking lot too. Just ask. I'm a hugger. It's the Italian in me. I can't help it. But yes, so we have considered that. Now, is it still a work in progress?
Uh-huh.
Absolutely. Has it something that is recognized wholly in communities? No, it is not. Like I said, just in general, the mental health consideration, even for the service member, was
Uh-huh.
disregarded, let alone for the family members. So it's a work in progress, but it has definitely been recognized. So we're making moves in that way. So at least we have that. We're closing the gap.
One thing that I've noticed as a volunteer here at the Warrior Healing Center myself, I see our Vietnam veterans come in. They have a support group. There's a women's veteran women's group that comes in that's for support. But I don't see anything for a support group for either just a combat veteran or maybe the Afghan. Iraq veterans. I haven't seen any kind of support groups for them yet, which I think could maybe be a need. And then
Absolutely.
again, what about a support group for PTSD dependents?
Sure. So,
You know,
um, the University of Arizona, Dr. Barbara Cetera has actually approached that consideration, because every war has its own DNA, we'll put it that way. So different things happened. The cause was different. The approach, how, just everything about it was different.
Right.
So you're right. There should be different support groups for that, because the language is going to be different. The consideration is going to be different. Now, of course, the overall purpose of the mission was Americans uniting together, for a cause, but as soldiers, but there was a different DNA in each atmosphere, each environment. So yes, you're right. There should definitely be consideration for that. And then there's one thing that I have been trying to get into the forefront of people's mind is a support group for military brats. I myself am a military brat. So there's really nothing for the youth. And they sometimes, mom and dad comes home and they're a different person, and all of a sudden you're treated differently. You don't understand why. You're a child. What you're questioning, you're wondering,
where'd my dad go? Where's my mom go?
Exactly.
Yeah.
So that is something that I've been working on to see. It's a little trickier when it comes to our kiddos, which it should be. It should be sensitive with everything that we do when it comes to people in general. But our kiddos, it's a sensitive topic. So, but it's something I'm working on, because I know myself, my mother would go, she went to Panama during Just Cause.
Okay.
So Noriega.
Right.
So to get him out of there. And that was difficult for my sisters and I. All of a sudden, mom's gone. It's not typical, field,
How old were you when that happened?
I believe I was 11, 12, yep. And so
she's your female role model in the family, right?
Correct.
So,
correct.
Yeah.
So then she's gone, and we didn't get to see her for a little while. We were left in an environment that maybe wasn't the best for 3 little girls, and so it was not traumatizing, but it definitely did have an effect on us. And we didn't have anybody to talk to. Nobody thought about that. Nobody's ever thought about, like, well, how are the kiddos doing?
Exactly.
Go to school, come home, make sure that they're fed. There are services that are definitely, that we are blessed with as the children of service members, which is medical, dental. So all these things are gifted to us, and I do believe they are gifts, because our parents are sacrificing. But the mental health, mental, emotional, potentially spiritual health consideration just was not there. So it's something that we're trying to close. But I agree with you. There should be a support group for every different. I'm not sure if I'm using that, but every combat,
era.
Thank you.
Yeah.
And so that is something that's. Now look at you. Look at you and started something, sir. Now we're going to have, everybody's going to get out there, and it's great. I love it. I think that's brilliant. No, way to go. These are the questions that we should be asking. No, that's great. So yes, there should be something different for everybody. I think we've just focused on those particular ones for so long.
Right.
And now we have to realize we just had how many soldiers come back?
Afghanistan soldiers just came back from deployment.
Exactly.
And they're pissed off because of what happened and how we withdrew and stuff, and there's a lot of anger and see that's the core that I wanted to get at, because I don't know who watches these interviews, but I know that it gets out to quite a few of our veterans, and I really want them to know that there's hope out there.
Yes.
That
we care.
Suicide, the veteran suicide is just, it's horrendous. Suicide period is horrendous.
No, but I understand what you're saying. Yes, because there is a feeling of, and the fact that there's okay. So think about it. Some of these soldiers have really served their entire career during this era, this combat era. Yes, their entire military career. This is what they know. So and then we also know that the transition from active duty to civilian life, there's no effective class or language that's given to them.
Now, they do have that TEP program on Fort Huachuca where people are retiring. But if you're a service member, and especially a combat vet that maybe served 9 years, and you get out, there's nothing.
Right?
Yeah, there's nothing.
Thank goodness, at least for that, though. Way to go, Fort Huachuca. I have to say that Fort Huachuca is actually cooperative in a lot of things, and there's a lot of consideration. I absolutely love being near this installation. It's just wonderful what they do.
And that's what I love about our community, because there's just so many veterans in this area.
Oh yes.
And if you need help and you're really in dire need, all you got to do is ask, and a brother or sister in arms will be right there to have your back.
Well, this community in general, when we had the monument fire, did you live here? This
I lost 32 years of everything.
Gone. Okay.
Gone.
Then you know.
So I know it. Yeah.
I was in tears because I was so happy of how everybody just pulled together.
Yeah.
There was not even a question. There was no good. It was almost like like,
No
yes, of course,
politics dividing
nothing,
us. It
nothing.
was,
No,
yeah.
we were together as a community, and I thought it was just wonderful and inspiring. And I always tell people that I said this one thing I love about Sierra Vista is that we do know when to come together,
Let's
and
expand
how.
on that a little
Sure,
bit. Not
sure,
Sierra Vista, Cochise County.
sure. Okay, you're right.
I
Yes, just be
mean,
real. You're
because
right.
Bisbee, Benson,
Sure.
well, all these
Everything.
towns. I mean, and if you want to expand on that, the whole state of Arizona, there was stuff coming in. You want to expand on that? The United States. I mean, they just had so much. But I just wanted to say that because I didn't want anybody to think that it was just a Sierra Vista
Oh no,
effort on
you're
that because
absolutely right. Absolutely, good point. Good point.
it was
Yes,
huge.
there's definitely that to be considered. There's a song American Made, and
Yeah.
I can't. Do you know this? We're
Hmm.
American Made, and it when I hear it, I think it's wonderful because it really does just give like this good picture, and it's a good song, of how we are with each other and for each other, and that
Right.
does say something. So of course there's a gap here and there with lots of different things. You can't. It's unfortunate, and hopefully we will close those and just work together in harmony. And yes, I do feel that that is what I personally would love to see. I'm a everybody love everybody kind of girl.
Yeah.
um, but yes, so yes, we did come together quite nicely, and I do love that. And I feel that the more we consider each other's feelings, mental health, emotional health, physical,
Hmm.
then we will start help being a healthier country. So
Well, I will admit, I, for one, especially like in 2016 when the presidential election was going on, and I would post on my Facebook page, like, oh, I like President Trump because yada, yada, yada. And then I'd have other people that didn't like it. And then it would turn into arguing, which would not then turn into personal attacks. Then it would turn into using foul language. Then I'd have other friends saying, why are you letting this person talk to you this way? And I think that's what social media is doing, is it's just more ways for people that have these opinions, instead of trying to be compassionate and understanding of someone's view that maybe you don't agree with, and I
yes.
think that this social media and the politics that are going on in our nation are just dividing us. And I wonder, what is God thinking right now? What is he sitting up there? What is he thinking about how we're handling this right now?
Oh, well, I don't want to speculate what he's
Yeah,
thinking, but
yeah.
we could just go back on some Old Testament and it'll probably give us some answers about what he's thinking and feeling. Um, so yes, I actually ran for office for District 2.
Really?
Yes, in
Wow.
2020. I lost to the amazing Ann English though, because she is a
Okay.
rock star. She's very good at what she does, and that was apparent with those votes. I'll tell you what. Talk about wanting to shy away. You're like, oh, I'm embarrassed. Look at those numbers compared to mine. So I did, and I actually found there was a lot of backlash just for the individual that I was, because I like to give and tend
Right.
to people that are in need, and people actually had negative opinions about that. So I just shut down my social. I don't have anything. No Twitter, no Facebook, no nothing, and I am quite content with that. So you're right. Some people they'll find anything to be negative about. So we
Right.
just have to keep just being positive and knowing that we work better is in teamwork. We all know I believe that is real. So teamwork is essential. And I always say, if I wasn't meant to care for other people, then I would have been born on my own little island, and I wasn't. So here I am, and I'm here for you.
Because I really drew back on my political opinions and stuff like that. And then every now and then I'll, post a comment about something, but I don't go in a vague. I'll just ask somebody's opinion because I want to learn more,
Sure,
especially from somebody
perspectives.
that has a different, because that's how I learn. I ask questions, right? And so,
Sure, sure. Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. I can see that. I
yeah.
just I'm not I'm a very what my sunshine and rainbows kind of person. So, and I don't mind being that way. I did learn about toxic positivity being the executive director of NAMI
Right.
though. So, but I tend to look on the brighter side of things and try to uh search for that silver lining, because one, life is too short, and two, I want to be I don't know. I just want to be not a Debbie Downer, especially for my kiddos.
Right.
I love my kids. I have two pretty cool kids, and also my husband.
Well, you want to give them a shout out. Now's the
Oh,
time.
Jonathan Davis, and my beautiful daughter Alexis Ann. My son Jonathan, actually, my husband did one of the first adult adoptions The judge that did
Wow.
it, 20 years old, and my husband adopted him, so that was pretty cool.
Very good.
Just in January 20th, and then my he just got married January 8th to the beautiful Cheyenne. She's awesome. She's a cool daughter-in-law. You know, I always still always will have my opinions about my kids. You know, well, not opinions, but do better, do better. But they're not too shabby.
You don't look old enough to have a son that's married already, though. What, did
Aren't
you get
you
married
so
at 15?
kind? You are so
Is that
kind.
what he did?
I'm 41, so he got married at 20, and then my daughter's 16,
Uh-huh.
and she's a handful, but not in a bad way. She's just got a little fire in her, and so
Where
I
did she go to
appreciate that.
school at?
At Buena.
At Buena?
Yep, she's on the
Okay.
Buena swim and dive team,
Yay.
and
Go Colts.
she's pretty. Yes, go Colts, and she's pretty cool. I like hanging out with her. So yeah, we're a pretty cool family, I have to say. My sister Nicole is actually an RN at the uh, ICU here at this hospital in Sierra Vista.
Oh, wow.
Yes, so she is
Nurses are our heroes.
angel and rock. Oh my goodness. Yeah. Oh my goodness, yes. I don't even know.
And that's before the pandemic. Now with the pandemic, it's expanded not only nurses, but the whole medical
The
field.
whole
It's
medical
just-
field, yes. So we'll just say that her spirit is definitely heavy. So lots of prayers for her. And then my sister Elizabeth lives on Long Island, and she has her own traveling ultrasound business there.
Wow.
Yeah, she's pretty cool too. Yes. My brother-in-law Gary, he's a musician. He went to Juilliard. He plays the piano like a beast. So yes, my family is. I have to say, I'm
Very
pretty blessed.
talented. Sound like you're very proud of all of them. That's
I am
great.
so proud of my
Yeah.
family. Yes, they are part of the inspiring. Like, you know, you got to keep up with them. So when it's never ending, we're always even my cousins. I can't think of one of my family members, uncles, cousins, aunts, any of them that I'm not so proud of. So proud to be in their family with them.
So one thing I didn't ask, and so I'll throw it up now. How did you end up being here in Cochise County?
Oh, so my mom was in the military, and we were stationed here when we were younger, and then we went to
Okay.
Panama, and then she was stationed here again. And I went to Phoenix, had my son, and said, "This is not a place to raise a child." So I came back down here, and this
Okay.
is where I am. Where
And
I
then
stay.
your husband retired from Fort Huachuca, and that's
He
how you met
did-
him?
Yes, he retired from Fort Huachuca, and I met him. We had mutual friends.
Yeah, you got to tell us the story now.
We have
Come on.
mutual friends.
Okay.
I actually saw him years before a picture, and I thought this is the most handsome person I've ever seen in my life. And it's true, though. It's true. And then so it took some years, and then finally it was the right time for both of us, and engaged in a relationship. And I'd never been married before, and told myself I was never going to get married. And I couldn't help it. So we've been married. We actually married on Veterans Day in 2018.
Wow. And what's his name?
Kelly Eichenbrock.
Kelly, you're a lucky man. If
No.
you don't know that, I'm telling you right now. So
I'm the lucky one. I'm the blessed one for sure. Yes, he's very supportive. Allows me to be the best version of myself, and then he's a great role model for my kids.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yes,
I love
yes.
hearing stories like that.
He's a good guy.
So you're here in Cochise County. You moved down here. What is some of the, I don't know, like maybe daily activities that you do with your family? You know, pass the time.
Well, there is no rhyme or reason to my schedule. So
Okay.
yes, I do stuff with Nami, but that has me all over the place. So that's very inconsistent, but effective. I do pray that I am effective to those that I engage with. I have two nonprofits myself, my husband and I, Operation Toothbrush for Homeless Veterans, which just received its official 501c3 on February 11th. So
If I'm not mistaken, does the Elks Veteran Committee give some money to that? I thought
they sure
did.
do. They help me with
Because I'm on that committee.
You
Well,
are?
I
Oh,
was,
okay,
but
okay.
yeah.
Yes, so Rick and oh
Yes.
my gosh.
Laura?
Thank you.
Davis,
How
Rick and Laura
embarrassing. How
Davis.
embarrassing. Their son, Gunnar, was one of my bosses and friends at Outback. So I worked there for almost 8 years before they shut down.
Well, when you brought the toothbrush thing up, I just
Yes,
wanted to throw the
yes,
Elks
you
out
guys
there
did.
for-
So every year, Operation Toothbrush, there's a homeless veteran transition facility in Tucson, Esperanza, and Escalante, but they take our veterans from here and all around their area. So
Okay.
as we know with veterans, any kind of service for them is not when people say local, I don't think that's a thing when it comes to veterans. So if you want to
Yes.
help a veteran, you help a veteran everywhere, because when they
Yep.
go and fight for us, they're not fighting for,
Sierra
Sierra
Vista
Vista.
or
That's right.
yep.
They're fighting for the whole country. So it's our job to tend to veterans everywhere, no matter where we live.
I
So
second that.
you second that? All right. I love that. Thank you. Um, and so this veteran transition facility, Esperanza and Escalante, they take veterans from all over the southern part of Arizona, and we feed them their entire Thanksgiving feast every year. Um, the Operation Toothbrush for homeless veterans, and then we do a food day, which we haven't been able to do the last couple of years because of COVID. But what we
Right.
do is we have local restaurants from Tucson and Sierra Vista that donate certain foods, and we take it up there and do buffet style, because
Wow.
they can't afford to go eat. Like, we take
Right.
advantage. We're
Right.
blessed with being able, like Friday night. Oh, it's been a long week. I'm tired. I'm going to Applebee's or Chili's or wherever we're going. Texas Roadhouse. That's where a lot of my friends work now, since Outback shut down. So we are blessed with having that. It's a luxury, and they are not. So I like to, let them have some sliders from, Chili's or something. So we do that, and then we bring clothes and all sorts of stuff throughout the year, and then it's not just the homeless veteran, but their family members, as in spouse or children. So no aunts and
Okay.
uncles or parents. So they are labeled. So there's a 2-year transition facility for the homeless veteran and their immediate family members. So sometimes these kiddos, of course, they have a birthday. Not sometimes, they have a birthday every year. So we'll bring them a toy, cake, and so we do that as well. And then our Heart for Children, we at first were eliminating school lunch debt at the end of the year, so that these kiddos that had a lunch debt didn't have one going into the next year.
Okay.
So we had 3 schools here in the community that did not have a grant for free breakfast and lunch. The other schools were blessed with those grants. So we were eliminating those lunch debts. Well, COVID, everybody, all the kids get free breakfast and lunch now in our
Right.
community. So what we did was we provide, if kids need tennis shoes or something, we'll do that. But we also provide care cabinets at the middle school and the high school filled with hygiene items. And we fill them up if need be. And the kids can go in there and grab shampoo, conditioner, underarm deodorant, feminine products, razors, whatever you need, so that they don't have to. That's the last thing we want them to have to worry about.
So Operation Toothbrush is a lot more than just toothbrushes.
Oh, yes. So I was thinking, why not, even if you were homeless, and we don't just tend to the homeless veterans. I will not go past a homeless person and ask them for their DD 214. If they don't have it, they're not getting a bag. No, that's not how it works.
Right.
Everybody gets a bag. But it was, personal hygiene can still be attainable even in a homeless situation, if you have the
Right.
right little tools. So that was the initial point of it, and then of course it just grew from there, because you can't. I get, what is it? Rolling Stones gather no moss. So, and I don't look good in green, so I just had to keep going and making it bigger.
So other than NAMI and Operation Toothbrush, and it seems like you've already going in 50 different directions, are there any other community activities or things that are near and dear to your heart?
Yes. So the Purple Hearts, the auxiliary, the lovely Barbara Blankenship. Do you know Miss
Okay.
Barbara
I do
Blankenship?
not. No.
Okay. So I do help her with a lot of things that she does. We'll help anybody. We don't. If we're asked and we can, we will. So
Okay.
it's not a matter of concrete things that we do. It's just a matter of need. So if you need us and we can, we will definitely be there for you. Hugs, remember, I give those out.
And I don't know if any of our service organizations are watching.
Mhm.
Maybe, hopefully, somebody from the American Legion is, or the VFW, or the Disabled American Veterans, or any of these other service organizations. I would love it, if they're not, to be able to contact you to see if they could help financially a little bit funnel, because even a little bit has to help, right?
Well, yes. So we do we do some fundraisers through the year. Of course, we weren't able to, but we have a red, white, and blue Pride pinup contest. If anybody was at the 9/11 Freedom Fest that the Amazing Warrior Healing Center threw on at the park last year,
Yes.
and you saw any girls walking around with red, white, and blue Pride pinup outfits, the dresses, their hair done, I was dressed up as that as well. Those are my patriotic pinups, and we do a pageant each year to help raise money, because it is difficult. And I fought so hard for the 501c3, because I was just, it was wearing on my heart to ask community members who don't have a lot to give sometimes, but they want
Right.
to, so they do. And I thought, we need to make it to where we can ask for funds from organizations, ones that give out mostly grants, so that we may still continue to provide our services without putting pressure on the community, because they want to help. We have such amazing, like we were saying earlier, such amazing community members, but COVID really hit a lot of people, yet they still gave. And I just thought, what I know that they're giving from a cup that's getting kind of empty, and I just
Right.
don't want to put that pressure on anybody. So anybody that would like to help, but I feel like gone in a route that's going to make sure that I don't have to exhaust their resources as well, because we're all on the same mission. So, because you can't just have one group try to accomplish this big mission, which is to tend to our service members, just anybody. I really don't see too many people in the philanthropy realm that say no if somebody needs help. So it's not so tunnel vision on it. So I don't want to exhaust from that, but there are organizations out there that love to give grants to organizations.
Right.
So that's why we have gone that route. But anybody that's listening, if you ever want to come, I like to get the JROTC from the high schools to come serve in their uniforms, the veterans, their Thanksgiving meal.
Cool.
They love it. Oh, our veterans just love that.
I think that the GROTC members would like that too, because they feel like they're serving the community.
That's right. Community and veterans, and that's their future goal. Most of them
want to be veterans one day.
That's right. So we're finding that it just works for everybody in general.
Do you have any last thing that you'd like to share with us? Maybe some little enlightening thing about, I don't know, just anything you want to share with us?
I always like to leave with Ephesians 4:32. Be kind.
Be kind. Amen to that. Well, Anna, thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you for having me. You're amazing. I feel like I'm blessed and just interacting with you today. Thank you for everybody out there.
I just sit here. I just enjoy learning about people. I think it's fascinating. I love to talk, so I think that's kind of why Kathy said, hey, you want to do some kind of a live stream, and didn't really know what we were going to come up with, and then it just kind of segued into interviewing one of our local veterans from the community each Friday, and I love doing it because I just learn so much, and I'm just sitting here talking.
No, I love that. I could talk. Yeah,
I could talk. We could go on for probably another hour or so. So I have a few announcements here I need to read real quick. If you can hang out for just a couple more minutes.
Absolutely.
Again, Anna Eichenbach, and we do appreciate you taking time off because I know you had a busy schedule. So thank you for coming down today. So some announcements that we have today. First, I wanted to let you know that there will not be any hot soup today because they had bagels and brew yesterday. And I'm so disappointed in myself that I missed the bagels and brew because I love it. I love the camaraderie. They always have good food, and even the coffee is good, believe it or not. So
that's the most
it's not Army
thing.
coffee. Like when we had this marching, we had this cadence that looks like muddy water and tastes like turpentine. That was one of the.
I'll ask my husband about that one.
So also here at the Warrior Healing Center, they have this studio. It's a live stream studio. There's quite a few open slots if you're interested in coming on camera, maybe talking about, I don't know, video games or history or maybe Army medals, or coming in, and you could come in like with Nami maybe and sit down and give an update. The studio is open. There's plenty of different times. If you would like to have some time to come in and do this, all you have to do is contact us at VETS, VETS, at warriorhealingcenter.org to schedule some time here in the studio. Just come on in and get your information out. Let people know what's going on in your organization. Or I know Eric does that with Team RWB.
Oh, yes.
And then there's a pastor, Steve, that comes in here from the Cowboy Church.
Okay.
And does a 15-minute thing. So I mean, I just love them because the videos are just they're good. They're informative. You learn so much from them.
Essential.
Also today we have the AARP tax aid people here. So if you have an appointment, because you do have to have an appointment to see the tax people here, you can come in. If you don't have an appointment, and the front desk people will help you make an appointment. There's a computer right there that we can do that for you. or there's a phone number and a website that we can give you also on that. We have the veteran women's group is coming in today at 10 o'clock, going to 11:30, and that's probably almost over by about now. So I don't know why I marked that one, but anyhow, so tomorrow, starting at 0800, we have the American Legion Writers Breakfast. It's going to be at American Legion Post 52. The cost for that is $6, and that goes until 1000 hours. Saturday, also at the American Legion Post 52, they're having a blood drive starting at 0900, going to 1400 hours. On Saturday, and this one I'm really excited about here, Saturday at 10 o'clock, the Velovet Sierra Vista Group Ride at Pueblo del Sol, and Stu Carter is letting me use one of their bicycles that I've never ridden with the group. Weather permitting, it's going to be my first ride with the group, so I'm excited about that.
Stu is awesome,
yeah,
and that's great. I'm so glad you get to do that.
I'm just looking forward to being able to get outside, get that fresh air, get some exercise, so
Well,
thank you, Stu Carter, for all you do for the Velovets group. On Saturday, February 19th, starting at 1200 hours, is the Team RWB Service Ruck, and that's going to be at Veterans Memorial Park, and they're going to ruck to the Warrior Healing Center. Also on Saturday, February 19th, starting at 1800 hours, it's the Warrior Healing Center movie night, and the movie is going to be Sleepless in Seattle with Tom Hanks and Meg Ryan. They picked a Valentine's theme movie because of Valentine's Day, so that was pretty
appreciate that.
On Monday, February 21st, starting at 1730 hours, going to 1830, we have the 5 Treasures of Qigong. And Tuesday, February 22nd, at 0900 to 1200, and then 1300 to 1600, we have Healing with Art, and it's I don't know how to say this word, Spirelli.
That looks good to me.
Spirelli cards and book. It's going to be here at the Warrior Healing Center main conference room on Tuesday, February 22nd, starting at 1900 hours. It's going to be the Thunder Mountain Detachment MCL monthly meeting, and that will be here at the Warrior Healing Center. These are all, there's so many on here. I mean, they're all important, so I don't want to make one sound any more important than the other. On Wednesday, February 23rd, starting at 10:30, going to 11:30, Finding the Way, the Warrior Healing Center Bible study group that they have here. And that will be at the Warrior Healing Center rec room. Then we have the Us Two Prostate Cancer Survivors group, and they will be meeting on Friday, February 25th, starting at 0900 and going to 1000 hours. And last, on Saturday, February 26th, we have 1300 to 1500 hours is the CLUG. That's the Cochise Linux Users Group. That's the monthly meeting that will be at 143rd Street Tacos. And that's it for all I have for today. I could go on for more. Believe me, there's a bunch. If you would like to know some of the events that are coming up, there is an event schedule. This schedule, as a matter of fact, should be up on the Warrior Healing Center Facebook page. All you have to do is open your Facebook app or Facebook page, type in Warrior Healing Center, follow the page, and then there's like all the videos. Well, you probably know that if you're watching this, right? So,
That's okay.
All right, so once again, Anna, thank you so much. God bless you for coming in.
Every day, you too.
Making schedule. Everybody, thank you so much for joining us. Have a great day and a great weekend. And remember, no hot soup today. God bless. See you next week. Bye-bye.